Alright, movie club, it's my review for the movie City Island. And pretty much to sum up this movie, this is a very quirky type of movie, but it was still a pretty fun movie to watch. This is actually a pretty good movie, which is weird. This is one of the few movies I've watched for the movie club where I haven't heard anything about it heading into it. Like, I haven't seen many movies, but for most of these movies we do for movie club, I've at least heard something about it. Like Natural Born Killers, upcoming ones I've heard stuff about Spaceballs, Food Inc., Fellowship of the Ring. Haven't heard anything about this movie heading into it. Uh, but like I said, quirky is the best word to describe this comedy, and it's a weird because it's kind of like a comedy that's becoming more common nowadays, and that's this movie. It's more of a clever type of comedy where you're not gonna laugh out loud the entire time you're watching it, but you're gonna be like smiling the entire time. It's like, oh, I get it, yeah. You're gonna snicker. You're gonna snicker a little bit during the not a little bit. You're gonna snicker a lot during this movie, but you're not gonna be like busting your gut. I only found myself like really catching myself laughing a couple times, and that they do have a couple of really funny jokes at the end. Like probably my favorite one was when the mom's consulting the stripper daughter after she's confessing that she got kicked out of college for smoking pot. It's like, oh honey, you got kicked out of college for smoking pot? It's all right, honey. Everyone smokes pot. I'll admit that made me laugh. But other than that, I think there was another couple of jokes at the end that made me laugh, but I can't remember them. But outside of that, not really much made me laugh out loud. But I still found myself, going along with it. I was still enjoying the movie. And it wasn't until after I saw the credits that I saw that Alan Arkin was in this movie, who is pretty much the only actor I know. And it's a perfect comparison. It made so much sense because this movie, the best movie to compare this to is Little Miss Sunshine, in which you have the main character who's released from jail, and at first he doesn't really seem to fit in. It's a really odd, unconventional family, but then in the end, he helps them out through better or worse, solve all their problems, whether he knows it or not. And as for the acting, it was actually pretty good. It's nobody that you really heard of outside of Alan Arkin, but it's weird because Tony, the son who gets released from prison, he actually looked a lot like Paul Rudd in the new movie he has out, Our Idiot Brother. And maybe it's just because I just saw those commercials and it's fresh in my mind, but he looked a lot like that, and it was really weird. I'm not sure if it's an acting thing or more of a character thing. The only character I didn't like was the teenage son, the one that's into the food fetish where he likes to, you know, feed fat girls, which I'll buy it, whatever. But the first scene where he gets a lot of dialogue in the dinner scene right at the beginning, he pissed me off to no end because I guess they're trying to play him off as this like witty, clever, smartass character, but he was just a fucking prick. And I mean, like I said, they do the smartass type thing, I don't mind as much. But he was just a fucking douchebag. I wanted to slap him in the face. But as the character goes, as the movie goes along, his character progresses more and more. So he's not as bad, but that's a horrible way to introduce that character, in my opinion. And the ending was off-putting too, and that's really the only part of the movie I didn't like that much, because the ending of the movie is everyone's happy. The Vince gets the role in the Scorsese movie, and they all live happily ever after. And it just didn't seem right that everyone lived happily ever after. And I have to go back to Little Miss Sunshine because that was probably the perfect way to end that movie, where they're all happy for that moment, but they still have to go on with what happened. In this movie, it's just happily ever after, the end, and that's it. You can have I would just rather kind of have an ending where it's like it's not where everybody's all hunky dory. You have to, there should be at least a little bit of conflict left. Like, you know, shouldn't Tony be a little pissed at his dad for, never saying anything to him ever? Outside of that, it was a good movie. if you like Little Miss Sunshine, definitely check out this movie then. It is a pretty good, fun, quirky comedy, and you should probably check it out.